Yes, there's some of that.
Okay.
Whenever you're going back in time, and this is every bit as much a time travel movie as it is an X-Men movie, there is those risks, and yet there are certain, so some of that's going to happen, and yet there are some things that, if you believe in certain physics and multiverses and in things like that, and then you also have a respect for the continuity as we have it. And mine is I'm less so entrapped in those previous films. Again, I'm not the audience, I'm just the filmmaker. But I do believe in certain continuity that will maintain, but some things will change. Okay. It's the nature of time travel. You go back and mess about, things happen. So that's something that some of those rumors are probably somewhat true.
I was just wondering, James, you just alluded to it. Will there be much acting with the younger versions of the characters in the same scene as the older versions? Because if so, that would be good.
That would be well good.
Will there be interaction? Primarily, since Wolverine is the journeyman, his interaction with the younger cast is primary. There is a moment which you'll see a beat of in this reel I'm going to show, where these two characters come face to face with younger self, older self. And we try to do it in a unique way. It's been done before, but my first opportunity to make a time travel movie really wanted to do my very best to create a set of rules and respect them and stay within the continuity of those rules. But there's a bit of interaction like that.
Not to put you on the spot or anything, but Hugh, besides Wolverine, who is your favorite character on X-Men besides yours?
Come on, mate, man up. Don't be afraid. No pressure.
Yeah, there's no pressure here. Listen, it's a very difficult thing to storm. It's a very, very difficult thing to say. Who is my favorite? But it's also a hard storm to kind of separate an actor from a part storm. So my general rule is do as many storm movies with Halle Berry as possible. Is that all right to say? We're both married, and it's very, listen, going back to the first question, I know that was a facetious question, I presume, but going back to the very first question, I'm in a perhaps unique position on this panel because the very first film I did in America was given to me by this man, and the film was X-Men 1. That was 14 years ago, pretty much got cast. It's almost impossible to believe. Like, I think everyone on this side of Brian feels how incredibly unique, rare, lucky, and blessed we are to be able to, 14 years later, come back together. I mean, we all knew each other. You guys knew me before I had kids. My son was born just as we were making first one. I mean, so much has changed. We've gone through together. And if you were lucky enough in your life to be in a film with just these actors, you would count yourself about as lucky as can be as an actor. If you look to the right of Brian, you see an unbelievable... Yeah. It's a whole...
Raise all that. Just, yeah.
I was like, what's he going to say?
Then you realise this is what you get paid for, to work with them, right? No. In honest truth, this movie is two great movies in one. I can't believe the embarrassment of riches that I have, that I get to work with all of them here. And so the truth of the matter is you will never get me to say who my favourite is. Storm.
Yes.
I think I speak for the room when I say this is breathtaking to see you all on the stage here. So can you talk a little bit more about the first reaction you had when you even heard of this project? Did you think this is insane? Did you think this is impossible? Did you think this is about time this happens? Because this is not your regular sequel. This is more than just one sequel.
It's an in-betweequel. It really is. An in-betweequel.
Well, it's in the spirit of the comics, isn't it? I mean, the comics go forward and back, and they change the history, and you're never quite sure where you are. They change the look of the characters. I mean, and the movies are in that the mayhem of the X-Men world, but running through it all, of course, is this very important story, a very important message. It's about our lives, however fantastic the characters are.
I heard about this movie and I was immediately filled with such sadness, because most of you probably won't recall, but at the end of 3, I was vaporized by Jean Grey. And that really hurt, by the way. It was, if ever, I hope it never has to happen to any of you. And so my assumption was, well, there's going to be Ian and Ali and you and everybody back, but it won't be me. But something happened, which I am not allowed to talk about. Am I? No. Or you can if you want to.
No, we just characters come back to life in comic. I just have to whenever I do something, I can't just do it flippantly. I have to at least believe in I have to believe that in the idea, the conceit. So in my own mind, I understand how Xavier is alive from X-Men 3. There's a beat at the end of X-Men 3 after the credits when his consciousness is sort of inside of this woman in a hospital. And then you take that, you mix it with some powerful mutants. And mutants can do a lot of cool stuff, so you can imagine anything's possible.
So does that mean that Xavier is back, Brian?
For the moment.
That should be the tagline for the film. X-Men. Xavier is back.
For the moment.
Just your face like a machine gun.
Catch it.
But this is science fiction, and a moment can be anything you want it to be.
Yeah, just, yeah. Well,
We're digging a deep hole here, guys.
But in seriousness to that, what another thing about this movie that's different from the previous X-Men films is there's a science fiction aspect to it as well. There's technologies. There's the Sentinel program, which is something that's going to be part of the picture. So you've got the time travel and the science fiction elements are things that haven't been as explored in X-Men films in the past. So that also made it a challenge and fun and unique.
We have time for but one more question.
All right. I wanted to ask you guys about the costumes this time around, how you felt in them. There's a lot of 70s gear. You're back in your Storm outfit while pregnant.
He hates them.
You're basically naked this whole time. After wearing the costume in the last one, now you're full blue.
She's pregnant, I'm naked.
Sounds like a
Come
great
see
movie.
the movie, it's great. We all really love, I can't speak for everybody, but I personally love the 70s. The moments that I do get to wear the 70s clothes, I really enjoy them because I like that time and I like wearing clothes when I can. And then the Mystique stuff, some of the look is a little bit different, but we're still using, same paint.
Jan wanted to make sure that this Mystique was a less innocent, evolved, getting closer to where Mystique was in X-Men 2.
Well, she's also more comfortable. I mean, she, when we left the movie, she was mutant and proud. In the first, she was kind of struggling with that problem that a lot of normal human people struggle with being insecure about how they look. So she was very covered up in the first movie, but this time she is mutant and proud.
My threads are awesome, to answer that. Lots of flares, chunky shoes, psychedelic shirts. There's a lot of brown jackets going on. But with very violently coloured psychedelia-inspired shirts underneath. You're going to love it.
There's some very cool, again, just hit me if I'm saying anything I shouldn't, but in the future, the X-Men suits are really, I'm just pausing in case I'm going too far, are unbelievable. First of all, hell of a lot more comfortable to wear than X-Men 1 and 2, but they look really amazing. And people in the future wear suits who've never worn suits before, that's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, Louise is pretty amazing, isn't she? She's... and
it's
a very collaborative thing. That's the one thing that I've sort of found on the project as a whole, not just sort of, through sort of, the clothes that we wear, the sort of Magneto sort of outfit, being on set.
Do you get to wear the helmet?
Oh, yes.
And
because the best thing about playing the older Magneto this time, no helmet.
You don't like the helmet?
No.
When you have a face like that, who needs a helmet?
We'll talk about helmets later, shall we?